Hello and welcome to creating a simple coin in Maya. Now with this exercise we're just going to create a nice coin, but we're going to work on the topology of it. And to just explain topology is when we have, so using the cube here, this cube is a great example of topology where each face has 4 sides. It is possible, and I'll just do a very crude demonstration here. So I've cut this face here, but now we can see that this side now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges. So the topology isn't really great on this. I could continue going around. You need to make sure that each face has 4 sides. That's always a good rule with texturing. Also the reason why I don't particularly like using spheres, because we have a look at the sphere here, we can see that everything comes to a triangular point here, and if you're applying textures it can just pinch there. Personally, you can, if I move the sphere over here, I can get a cube, go over to, I'll change from rigging to modeling, go to mesh, smooth, increase divisions a few times, that'll be enough. As you can see here, we've created, it looks like 2 identical spheres, except this one's got a good layout and this one pinches there, so everything's all even here. Okay? So that's enough of me demonstrating there a bit with topology. We're going to have a go ourselves. So to start off with, we're going to go create polygon primitive, and we're going to get the cylinder. Now you're already, Vicky, the cylinder, it's pinching in the center. Don't worry, we'll fix that. So I'm just going to increase the size of it, and you notice I'm making it a bit thinner because it is going to be our coin. It's going to be the center bit. And I'm going to go over to the channel box, and in here what I want to access is polycinder inputs. And first off, I want to change the subdivision cap to 0, and it gets rid of all those lines. And I'm going to change the subdivision axis from 20 to 16, a nice even number there. And also this is a very good point to save where I am at the moment. What I'm going to do is create a new project folder. So I'm going to go to project window, new, I'm going to call this one coin, and click accept, and then file, save scene, coin. And it's always good now and then when you get to a point where you say I'm happy, increment and save. It will save you. Making sure I clean up my topology. Well, I'm going to cut some edges into this face, but I want to do it on both sides. So with the object selected, I'm going to do symmetry onto object Y, and hopefully just to test it out, just selecting the vertices. If I select, you can see when I go around it's selecting both top and bottom. It just saves me from having to do the bottom again later. But if you have to do the bottom later, it just repeats but upside down. And I'm going to make sure, looking at my axis in the corner here, that I've got this directly facing front of me. I'm going to get the multi-cut tool, grabbing top one here and closing off down there, so line right down the middle, and pressing enter to make sure it's all connected. And then I'm going to go across like so, and I'm just going to grab this one going straight down here, and one more. Do not worry if you make a mistake, that's where Control Z is, and you try again. Now you may notice I haven't done for the last one on either end, because if we look at the face, it's got 4 sides, so I don't need to do that one. So this one already we fixed the topology. Now I want to create something similar to a Mario coin. So again, I'm happy with where I am. File, increment and save. But first I want to drag these edges out to the side. So I'm just going to click on one side using the faces, holding shift and double click so it goes all the way around. Now the one a few times you're going to see me hit extrude, so I'm going to hit it once, and then we've got this arrow over here. Now you can just click and drag the arrow or change the offset. I'm just going to drag the arrow out just to create this nice lip all the way around. And there's a reason for this lip, so I'm quite visually happy with that. So now I can click, hold shift, double click to get the circle, and now going my trusted move and holding shift down to extrude. I trust this a lot more. Now you may have something similar happening here. It's a little glitch happening. I'm just going to click, double click all the way around. If you have this happening, it's the display. Just to explain this, if I create a plane, just move it up, you can see that with this plane, we can see it all grey on one side, but if I look underneath it, it's black. That means that the light is only reflecting on one side of the surface. The black is where no light is being reflected. So that's what the black and grey means. So it looks like there's a slight glitch where it's happening here. To fix that glitch, I'm going to select those faces, go over to Mesh Display, click Reverse, and then try one more time. And you can see it's fixed it there. Sometimes that happens. Now to create the centerpiece, I'm going to grab these faces here and making sure I've got symmetry Y on, so I'm doing both sides. I'm going to grab the scale tool, holding shift and clicking the center box, so I scale it in a bit. I can let go, and now without holding shift, I'm just going to grab the side to create that shape there. Now getting the move tool, holding shift and pulling it up, and there you go. You kind of got a good shape there. Great chance to file, increment and save. I am very happy with that, but we can make it better. If I press 3 on my keyboard, we go into what's called smooth preview, and when it's smoothed, it gives you a preview of it smoothed before you actually smooth it. And yes, it's kind of nice, but I would like to emphasize these edges here and the edges down there. That looks a bit too loose. I want to define those lines. To do this, we're going to add a bit of bevel. It's really handy if you want to add a bit of definition to certain areas. So pressing 1 to go back into my normal view, I'll go to edges, and I'm going to hold shift, double click. So I'm doing the edge there, and I'm going to click bevel. Now it's a bit too much fraction there, so I'm just going to bring it down to about 0.2. I might increase the segments. Yeah, 2 is a good number. So now when I do smooth preview again by pressing 3, you can see already that's made an improvement there. So I'm going to add a bit more bevel with those settings in mind. You can always adjust yours visually, but try and keep it to a nice round number. So I'm going to do the same here, bevel, and making sure it's 0.2, 2 segments. Zooming in a bit. I want to do the edge running around here, and a couple edges on this coin here. So I'm going to. Now this is where it gets a bit tricky. I can't just double click. I have to go around the shape here. I can try double click here and then. It saves me a bit of work, but not so kind in some areas, so you have to go around when you get to this stage. Gonna bevel, action point, two segments. I'm gonna do the same around here. Okay, that's gone all the way around very nicely. Always check. I'm gonna hold shift this time and do it around here. I'm gonna hit bevel and bring down fraction to 0.2 with 2 segments. So now if I press free, it already looks a lot more defined and a lot better. So again, pressing 1 and then going to File, Increment and Save. I can then have a go at making it smooth. To do this, I'm going to put it onto Mesh mode. Then going over to Mesh, and where's smooth? There it is. And I can actually increase the subdivisions, but if you do it too much, it could crash your program. So I'm just going to do it about... I think I may do it 1. You can always re-smooth it again, but I think... Yep, that is really good. And to finish off and add a little dash of color, I'm going to assign a new material to this. So I'm going to click on my coin, drag and pull down and go to assign a new material. And here we have a selection of my favorites. You can always select others, but I'm just going to go with basic Fong there. And over here, now we've got all this history here. If I try and find it, you can see lots of history. I'm going to clean that up. Edit, delete by type, history. And there you go. So we've just got Fong 1. I'm going to rename that as coin underscore material. And I'm going to click on the color here. Now, if you don't have this window, it's the attribute editor. I'm just going to click on color and try and select more of a, I don't want bright orange, more of a goldy color. Yep, happy with that. You can always adjust yours. You can make it any color you want, really. I'm just going, try and select that again. Click done. And I want it quite reflective. It's pretty reflective, but I can also increase reflectivity to max, so it's very reflective. And click away, and there you are. That is a nice simple coin, but using a good level of topology. So I recommend you practice with the bevel tool and mix it up with different objects and just carry on experimenting Maya. And a really good time to go File, Increment and Save. So there you go. Until next time, see you later.